creating a transition between work mode and family mode. This is a typical scenario that I hear from my students, because my recommendation to them always is shut it down, shut work down. And I understand it sounds naive, but sometimes that's okay. That's what you need to hear. That's what you need to do. Just because it's naive doesn't mean it's wrong. Okay? So, here's the typical scenario. Oh, I stop work at 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. whatever time, but pick a time. Let's stick to 6. But then notification pops by, or somebody calls, or an email came in and I opened it and I just had to answer it. Now, in all probability, you're sitting with your spouse or your kid or exploring your hobby, and then suddenly you stop doing that and you have to do this. That's terrible, right? Because for one, your mind is now away from wherever you were and trying to do work. But you don't really want to do work, but you have to do work. Maybe your kid needs attention. Maybe your pet needs attention. Maybe your spouse needs attention. It doesn't matter. If you are there, you need to be present. You need to be in the moment. And you're not in the moment anymore. And that is terrible. You know this. Okay, you don't need me to tell you this. But this is a common scenario. And as I mentioned earlier in the work-life balance thing, if somebody does not respect your timelines and your boundaries, sometimes that leaves you cornered, right? You can end your workday at 6, but if somebody who's supposed to respond to you did not, well, damn, what do you do now? Well, I'm going to give you an action plan. I'm done talking abstract. Let's try some of these things out. At 5:45 p.m., you set an alarm. The alarm tells you, buddy, 15 minutes to go. And you start by doing 3 things in those 15 minutes. You write down the things that are pending or incomplete. You write down things that need to be done tomorrow. Urgent and important, not a comprehensive list of everything you need to do. And then write down your thoughts on the stuff you just worked on today. So in case you need to pick it up tomorrow, you know where that train of thought ends. And that's it. You're officially done with work. You still have a few more cleanups to do though. 1, switch off your laptop. Nah, closing it does not work. Okay? Switch it off. The extra minute or 2 it takes to boot, well, that gives you an option. Do I really need to boot this up? Even as it's booting, in case you are like, put it back off. But if it's just sleeping, you open it, you're already in there. The related thing to this is turn off notifications on your phone. If there is truly a fire, somebody will call you. Okay? And many times, it's not a real fire as well. Doing these 2 chunks of work in those 15 minutes, that's your first step. But we still haven't even gotten into the transition yet, because your mind is thinking about work, but you need to come out of it. You need to come to family mode. You need to come to home mode. And this is just a mental switch. Previously, we had our commute to help us out. Like you're driving around in the car, and it gives you time to switch off from work and come here. But now when the commute is 10 feet, that's not enough time to transition out, is it? So you need to create that transition. And this one, well, I can give you a few ideas. I can tell you what I do, but you need to come up with your own thing. It can be 5 minutes of breathing. Just inhale, exhale. If you prefer a tempo, 4 second in, 2 second hold, 6 seconds out, 2 second hold. Okay, there's a bunch. You pick whatever works for you. Slightly longer on the exhale than the inhale. That's it. That's probably the only condition I would put in there. Okay, I prefer a longer routine. Okay, and this is because I am an introvert. I've just spent a bunch of my day interacting with other people, which takes my energy away. Even if I love doing it, I need to have some time for myself to get my energy back. Because otherwise, and I've noticed this, it comes in my time log, it comes in my journals, I won't speak a word. If my friends come over to hang out or I'm just chilling with my wife, I tend to be extra reticent. And that's because I'm just lacking energy. So I spend 10 to 15 minutes doing my original strength resets. I spend 10 to 15 minutes doing some breathing drills. And during this time, what was in my head, I slowly stop thinking work thoughts. And I just focus on the breathing or the movement, and it helps me switch off. And then, done, I come in and that's it. Helps me stay in the moment, helps me switch and transition from work mode to family mode. In the beginning, this is rather hard to do. Okay, your habits might lead you to be halfway through a task, say opening your work email or something like that, before you catch yourself. It's okay, it happens. Set better safeguards. For example, many phones have a work, and I don't know what the other thing is, but yeah, non-work. Emails can be put into work thing, and you can say have a specific unlock pattern for work. Switching off the laptop ensures that you're not going to open it up. And you got to have the courage to do this, okay? And courage might seem like a strong word, but you'll know what I mean. It takes some effort from you to persist. A colleague might call. Well, you decide if you want to answer the call, okay? Choice is yours. Is there a fire, or are we just used to calling fire all the time? It's important that you realize that you can always make an exception. Maybe once a week or once a month, things do go wrong. But it's up to you to fix the system. Why do things keep going wrong? How do you make yourself a little bit more redundant? Or how do you make this workday work? How do you switch off at 6 p.m.? And you tweak. You see that like if exceptions happen every day, well, something's wrong. This is not going to work for you. You need to fix the problem. So fix it. But don't stop, don't give up. Okay, you got to try something like this out. And it is important you create this transition time. Another thing that comes to my head as I am talking about this is not interspersing chores during your workday. Instead, get your workday done, and you can use doing a chore as your transition. It could work. I've heard legitimate people tell me that they find doing dishes or folding clothes meditative. I can see it. I'm not there, but I can see it. So, yeah, pick something that works for you and do it. But make that transition. And once you're into this mode, stop. Don't go back as much as possible. Yes, I understand exceptions are always available, but they are exceptions. Once in 2 weeks, maybe. And that's that.